I've always been fascinated by the idea of time travel, and today we're going to explore something even wilder: the Tachyonic Antitelephone. Now, you might be wondering, what on earth is that? Well, it's a hypothetical device that could send information backward in time using faster-than-light particles called tachyons. Yeah, you heard that right. Backward in time. This concept is mind-blowing when you think about it because it completely challenges our understanding of causality. Imagine receiving a message before it was even sent. It turns out that tachyons, these theoretical particles, are predicted by some interpretations of special relativity to have imaginary mass and never travel slower than light. Let's dive into this a bit more. If tachyons exist and we could harness them, it would raise some serious questions about free will and determinism. I mean, could we change the past? And what about the future? The implications for quantum computing and cryptography could be revolutionary. It's like opening Pandora's box of temporal paradoxes. But you know what's really fascinating? The potential experimental evidence for tachyons. Some scientists are actually trying to detect these elusive particles, and if they succeed, it could turn our understanding of physics upside down. So next time you think about sending a text, just imagine if you could send it to yesterday. Mind-bending, right?
The Tachyonic Antitelephone is a hypothetical device rooted in the theoretical framework of special relativity and quantum field theory. It arises from the idea that certain particles, known as tachyons, could travel faster than the speed of light. According to relativity, particles moving faster than light would experience a reversal in the time order of events in some reference frames. This implies that tachyons could allow communication across time, specifically enabling signals to be sent into the past. The Tachyonic Antitelephone uses this concept to theoretically send information backward in time, challenging the linear flow of cause and effect. This thought experiment provides insights into the implications of faster-than-light (FTL) phenomena, even though no experimental evidence for tachyons currently exists. A tachyonic antitelephone could be used to send a warning to one's past self, such as alerting about a natural disaster, potentially averting it and changing history. It's like having a messenger bird that flies so fast it can deliver a message to you before you even send it, defying conventional time sequences. Special relativity posits that as an object with mass approaches the speed of light, its energy and momentum approach infinity, making it impossible to accelerate a massive object to light speed. However, relativity does not prohibit particles that inherently travel faster than light, tachyons. Tachyons are theorized to have imaginary mass, described using complex numbers in relativistic equations. Their energy decreases as their velocity increases, contrary to ordinary particles. If tachyons exist, they could traverse space-time in a way that allows them to interact with events in the past. However, their existence would lead to frame-dependent violations of causality, meaning events could be perceived in different orders depending on the observer's motion. Consider a theoretical tachyon emitted from a supernova. If it were faster than light, it could reach Earth before the supernova's light, providing information about the event in advance. Imagine a runner so fast they finish a race before the starting gun's sound reaches them. Their speed defies our usual expectations of time and sequence. The tachyonic antitelephone operates under the principle that a tachyonic signal could be transmitted between 2 points in spacetime, with a reception of the signal occurring before its emission in certain reference frames. This requires precise synchronization of the sender and receiver, exploiting relativistic effects like time dilation and the relativity of simultaneity. In practical terms, the sender generates tachyons, that travel faster than light, and due to their unique space-time trajectory, the receiver detects the signal in the past. This setup could theoretically be fine-tuned to allow specific, controlled backward communication. If you were at 5 IPM and sent a tachyonic signal, your past self at 4:45 PM could receive it and act accordingly, effectively creating a feedback loop between different times. It's akin to making a phone call where the recipient picks up the call 15 minutes before you dialed, allowing them to respond to your questions in advance. The tachyonic antitelephone fundamentally challenges the principle of causality, which asserts that causes precede their effects in all frames of reference. Faster-than-light communication implies that in certain reference frames, an effect, receiving a signal, could precede its cause, sending the signal. This creates paradoxes where the cause-effect relationship is disrupted, leading to situations where actions in the future could influence or even negate events in the past. Such violations could undermine the deterministic nature of classical physics, necessitating a re-evaluation of foundational principles in both classical and quantum theories. If a future event like a stock market crash prompts a message to be sent back in time to prevent risky investments, and the past self avoids the crash, the initial reason to send the message would no longer exist. It's like writing a warning letter about a fire to your past self, who then takes precautions to prevent the fire. If the fire never happens, the reason for sending the letter vanishes, creating a logical inconsistency. The self-consistency problem in time travel explores whether paradoxes, such as the grandfather paradox, could logically coexist within the framework of physics. In the case of a tachyonic antitelephone, sending information to the past could result in events that prevent the original message from being sent, leading to a paradox. However, some theories, such as the Novikov self-consistency principle, suggest that any changes to the past must be consistent with the timeline, meaning that even backward communication cannot alter events in ways that contradict their original cause. If you use a tachyonic device to warn your past self to avoid a meeting where you were injured, and your past self heeds the warning, this prevents the injury. However, the injury is the reason you sent the message, leading to a paradox unless a consistent timeline is maintained. It's like watching a movie where the protagonist tries to stop a future disaster, but realises every action taken ensures the disaster occurs exactly as foreseen. Detecting tachyons presents significant experimental challenges due to their hypothetical nature and faster than light speeds. Conventional particle detection relies on measuring mass, charge, and velocity within the constraints of light-speed interactions. Tachyons, with their imaginary mass and superluminal velocities, would produce anomalous signals not easily captured by existing detectors. Additionally, any claim of faster-than-light detection must contend with rigorous scrutiny, as relativistic effects could easily be misinterpreted. Thus far, no empirical evidence supports tachyon existence, and previous claims, such as the Opera experiment's neutrino results, were later attributed to experimental error. In 2011, the Opera experiment observed neutrinos appearing to travel faster than light. However, this was later corrected as a timing error caused by a faulty cable connection. Detecting tachyons is like trying to photograph a shadow moving faster than light. The tools designed for ordinary objects fail to capture or validate such an extraordinary phenomenon. The chronology protection conjecture, proposed by Stephen Hawking, suggests that the laws of physics inherently prevent time travel or any form of backward time communication to safeguard causality. This conjecture implies that natural mechanisms, such as quantum instability or infinite energy requirements, would arise to block attempts at creating closed time-like curves or tachyonic communication. Essentially, even if tachyons exist, their practical use for time manipulation may be impossible due to physical constraints. In theoretical setups involving wormholes or closed time-like curves, attempts to send signals to the past often encounter insurmountable energy barriers or catastrophic space-time distortions, effectively enforcing causality. It's like a cosmic safety net that ensures no one can write a history-altering message, protecting the integrity of the timeline from paradoxes. The Tachyonic Antitelephone raises profound philosophical questions about the nature of time, causality, and free will. If the future can send information to the past, it suggests a deterministic universe where future events are as fixed as past ones. However, this also implies that actions in the past could be influenced by knowledge of future outcomes, potentially limiting free will. The paradoxes introduced challenge the linear perception of time, suggesting that time may be a more complex, interconnected web of cause and effect. In a scenario where a tachyonic message provides stock market predictions, individuals might act on this future knowledge, altering events. This raises the question, were their choices truly free, or were they constrained by information from a predetermined future? It's like playing a game of chess where you know all your opponent's future moves. You can act accordingly, but your choices are now influenced, if not dictated, by that future knowledge. If tachyonic antitelephones were possible, their applications could be revolutionary, from early disaster warnings to real-time financial predictions. However, they would also pose significant risks. Misuse could destabilise societies by creating informational loops, where knowledge from the future influences the present in unpredictable ways. Moreover, unregulated access could result in catastrophic timeline alterations, where unintended consequences disrupt the stability of reality. Imagine a government using tachyonic communication to prevent terrorist attacks by sending intelligence backward in time. While this might enhance security, it could also trigger an arms race for time-based warfare with escalating consequences. Using a tachyonic antitelephone is like having a powerful but unpredictable genie. Every wish or message could have unintended, far-reaching consequences. While the tachyonic antitelephone remains speculative, it serves as a powerful thought experiment in theoretical physics. It challenges our understanding of causality, time, and the limits of communication. By exploring these concepts, scientists gain deeper insights into the structure of space-time and the potential limits of relativity. Even if tachyons and backward communication remain purely theoretical, studying them pushes the boundaries of human knowledge and encourages innovative thinking. Discussions on tachyons have influenced fields like quantum mechanics and string theory, where faster-than-light phenomena and causality are key considerations. The tachyonic antitelephone is like a philosophical puzzle. It may never be solved, but attempting to understand it unlocks new ways of thinking about the universe.